feeling.
Got this feeling in my body.
Hello, Virginia. My name is Kai. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm honored.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your campaign organizer, Kai Kuo.
Sweet. So, like I said, my name is Kai Kuo. I'm honored to be here with former President Barack Obama, Terry McAuliffe, and of course, all of you. This November, we have the power to elect Terry, keep the legislature blue, and continue to build progress in Virginia, but we need your support. Terry McAuliffe is running for governor to lift up all Virginians. Just as he's done before, he will create good-paying jobs, make healthcare more affordable, and give every Virginia child a world-class education. With Hala Ayala, Mark Herring, and our Democratic majority, Terry will deliver our vision for a brighter Virginia and a brighter country. But we can't win this election without every single one of you. There's too much at stake to sit this one out. Early voting is happening across Virginia right now. Last year in Virginia, millions of Virginians voted early. We had record turnout last year in the Commonwealth, and we can do it again. Hundreds of thousands of Virginians have already cast their ballots, and we're likely to break a voting record for the most ballots cast in Virginia for a non-presidential year. So, before you go, open your calendars and sign up to volunteer with one of our organizers or volunteer leaders. They're holding clipboards, or they should be waving right now. You can see, got some over there. You'll find them, or they'll find you. And so we've got only 10 days left to secure the next 4 years of Virginia's future. And we need everyone's help to get out the vote. Let's get out, knock on doors, and vote early to elect Terry McAuliffe and Democrats up and down the ballot to protect the progress we've made, to get us out of this pandemic, to keep our economy strong, and to keep Virginia open and welcoming to all. So, join our team. I want everybody to take out their phone right now and text the word Terry to the number 50550. Thank you all so much, and now I'd like to introduce Mayor LeVar Stoney.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your mayor of Richmond, LeVar Stoney.
Virginia Democrats, y'all ready to win? Oh no, I didn't hear you. Are the Virginia Democrats ready to win? Folks, I am LeVar Stoney, the mayor of the great city of Richmond. And if you're not from Richmond, I want to welcome you to your capital city. Before I begin, I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to the young Democrats at VCU. I want to thank them for hosting this tremendous event and helping to get out the vote on Election Day. Now, folks, some of you may know this, but I got to say it again. I have known Terry McAuliffe for decades and have seen him up close and personal. I've seen him as a leader, and I've seen him as the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. In fact, I I can testify when he says sleep when you're dead, well, he really means it. No one, and I mean no one, will fight harder for Virginians than Terry McAuliffe. And that's why I'm proud to support him, and I'm proud to chair his campaign for governor. You see, when Terry was governor, he created over 200,000 jobs and laid the groundwork for Medicaid expansion. Under Terry, personal income went up and unemployment went down. And it just didn't go down in the great city of Richmond. It went down in every city and county in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And more Virginians had their voting rights restored under Terry than any governor in the United States of America. See, folks, when Terry was governor, the 72nd governor, he got the job done. And as our 74th governor, he's going to get the job done again. Now, folks, I know, you've read it. You've seen it on all the news channels. You know and understand what is at stake in this election. The future and the soul of Virginia is in our hands today. And the country has their eyes on us. We need to hold on to our Democratic majority in the House of Delegates. We need to elect Terry McAuliffe, Hala Ayala, and Mark Herring. And when we do that, we will build on the progress we've made over the last few years. If Republicans get a foothold in November, all of our great progress will be washed away. Think about what's going on in Florida. Think about what's going on in Texas. Do you want those policies in Virginia? No. See, Glenn Youngkin began his campaign by embracing Donald Trump and his deadly election. Yes, he did it. He sure did. He did that. And guess what? He is ending the campaign in the same way, embracing those dangerous election conspiracies from January 6th. We're in the battle for the future and the soul of this Commonwealth, and we need your help. So now, with just over a week left before the election, we need everyone, and I mean everyone. Call your mama, call your daddy, call your sister, your brother, your friends, your co-workers, and get them to the polls today. Today. Tell them to early vote, and tell them to vote on November 6th, and we can make this happen for all of our Virginians. Thank y'all so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Democratic National Committee Chairman, Jamie Harrison.
What's going on, Virginia? Man, oh man, on the campus of VCU. It is so good to see y'all today. Thank you so much for being so welcoming to us all. It's so good to be back in Virginia, y'all. Listen, we got a lot of fantastic folks to hear from today. We got mayors, we got governors, we got speakers, we got senators, Congress people, and then we got Governor McAuliffe and President Obama. And listen, you know, my grandfather taught me, he said, Jamie, sometimes you just got to make it plain. So I'm going to go right to the point. We're going to make it plain for you. You know, as DNC chair, there's one thing I say all the time. Democrats deliver. And since taking the majorities here in Richmond, Virginia, Democrats have delivered. They delivered record investments in schools, made health care more affordable, voting rights, and the list goes on and on and on. And my folks, my friends, progress is on the line this November. If we elect Governor McAuliffe, if we elect Delegate Ayala, Attorney General Herring, and Democrats up and down the ticket, we can continue to move forward. These folks are proven leaders, and they're fired up to get to work. But if we don't, If we let these radical Republicans take control, we could see years of progress get erased. And folks, I'm not being dramatic. That's just a reality based on the clowns the GOP is running this cycle. Just look at the guy at the top of the ticket. Glenn Youngkin is extreme. This guy is a fanboy for Donald Trump. He wants to go on the offensive against reproductive rights. He's not smart enough to know if humans are causing climate change. Duh. You know, as we say in South Carolina, bless his heart. But that means he's not smart enough to be your governor, y'all. And we don't have time to sit around while he does his research. Virginia can't afford leaders who twist themselves in knots to pander for votes, who say one thing in public and then they promise to take away people's constitutional rights when they don't think about anybody's listening. Virginia needs leaders who mean what they say. Virginia needs leaders who deliver. And that's why the DNC has invested a record $5 million to elect Democrats up and down the ballot here in the Commonwealth. With your help, we're going to re-elect Mark Herring so he can continue to fight for common sense gun reform and justice and equality for all Virginians. We're going to make Hala Ayala Virginia's first female lieutenant governor so that she can continue to deliver for people all across the Commonwealth. And we are going to send Terry McAuliffe back to the governor's mansion so he can create jobs, make health care more affordable, and give every kid in the Commonwealth a world-class education. This election isn't about Democrats and Republicans. It's about who wants to build on the progress we made and who wants to take Virginia backwards. It's about who cares about you and who's willing to say or do whatever it takes for a vote. It's about who shows up when you need them and who only shows up around Election Day. Democrats are there when you need them. Terry McAuliffe will be there when you need him. Hala Ayala will be there when you need her. Mark Herring will be there when you need him. Folks, Democrats are the brick wall between hope and the chaos Republicans want to run all across the great Commonwealth of Virginia. But my friends, we cannot falter. We will win because we must win for the future of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you all so much. Get out there and go vote, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Speaker of the House of Delegates, Eileen Fillercorn.
Hello, everybody. It is so wonderful to see you all live and in person. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here this afternoon here at VCU. I want to start by thanking President Barack Obama for joining us here today in support of Virginia's next governor, Terry McAuliffe, our next Lieutenant Governor, Hala Ayala, and our Attorney General, Mark Herring. And also our Democratic majority in the House of Delegates. Will all the members of the most consequential Democratic House majority ever please raise your hand? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And how about all of our incredible House Democratic candidates? Please raise your hand. Thank you. Virginia has made tremendous progress over the last 8 years under the leadership of Governor McAuliffe, Governor Northam, and Democrats all across the Commonwealth. What a difference it is when we have Democrats in charge. These past 2 years of Democratic majorities in the legislature and a Democratic governor have made a significant difference for Virginians. We expanded voting rights, invested in education, teacher pay, raised the minimum wage, passed key anti-discrimination legislation, made access to quality, affordable health care a #1 priority. We have stood up to the high-powered gun lobby and brought common sense laws to help stop gun violence. And we were the 38th state to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. Under Democratic leadership, Virginia is once again the #1 state for business, and we received this designation while making Virginia more open, more welcoming, and doing better by workers. And you know what? All of this happened in less than 2 years of Democrats governing. We did all this while curbing the spread of COVID-19 and making Virginia a national leader with our outstanding vaccination rate. But you know what? All of these achievements could be rolled back. There is so much at stake at this election, and if House Republicans and Glenn Youngkin and Donald Trump have their way, we know they will destroy all the historic change that we have made. They want to dismantle all the progress that we've made on voting rights and all of the progress we made making Virginia more open and more welcoming. They will try to strip away everything we have done to protect women's health care and to reduce gun violence and to make our Commonwealth better and good for workers and businesses. What they really want is a legislature and a governor who defers to Donald Trump. But we won't let that happen, will we? Are we going to go back to the days of out-of-touch Republican control? Will we sit back and watch all the progress that we have made be destroyed? Will we become the next Texas, Florida, or Georgia? But are we going to turn out the vote? Are we going to win? With your help, I know we will get out the vote. We will elect Terry McAuliffe, Hala Ayala, and Mark Herring, and we will grow our Democratic majority in the House. Together, we will keep Virginia blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congressman Don McEachin.
Thank you, Richmond. Let me suggest to you that as you turn 60 like I did, wrap yourself in bubble wrap, because if you fall, you break your hips. It's wonderful to be with you all today. And as the mayor said, welcome to Richmond, but more importantly, welcome to Virginia's 4th Congressional District. Now, folks, I know we're here to rally for Terry McAuliffe on our statewide ticket, but I have to go home tonight. And there's someone at my house who's on the ballot. So give a round of applause for Richmond's Commonwealth Attorney, Colette McEachin. I love doing that to her, just love doing that to her. Yes, Virginia, you've elected me to work on issues like health care, world-class education, and guess what? You're looking for a governor to do the exact same thing. And that governor is the once and future governor, Terry McAuliffe. He has the experience to deliver results and take Virginia to the next level. Terry McAuliffe is running for governor to rebuild a strong economy and create good-paying jobs, family-sustaining jobs, invest in education and workers, and keep Virginia open and welcoming to all. Then that other guy has a different set of priorities. He wants to ban abortion, restrict voting rights, take money out of our public schools and give it to private schools. Editorial boards, not me, editorial boards say his plan would drive Virginia into a ditch. So we have a choice in this election. We can elect a leader who has a proven track record of getting things done, like Terry McAuliffe, or a leader in Glenn Youngkin who has no real plan to move us forward. 10 days, my friends. We got 10 days left, and as Governor McAuliffe would say, sleep when you're dead. Work these next 10 days, get people out to vote. Like the mayor said, get your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your boo, get them all out to vote. Make your plan, and let's get this done. God bless you, Virginia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congressman Bobby Scott.
Good afternoon, Richmond Democrats. And hello, VCU. It's great to be here back in Richmond. You know, I used to represent Richmond, so I've missed it. So hello, my old friends. How you doing? Now, it's great to be here with my friends and with all these friends to help elect our Democratic ticket, Terry McAuliffe for governor, Hala Yala for lieutenant governor, and Mark Herring for Attorney General again. They will continue to make health care more affordable. And who knows more about health care than our special guest, President Barack Obama? Protecting voting rights, they're going to protect our voting rights. Keeping Virginians safe in the face of the pandemic, Democratic leadership has truly moved our Commonwealth forward. We've grown strong in the economy, thriving by creating hundreds of thousands of good-paying jobs and expanding career opportunities for all Virginians throughout the Commonwealth. And success we've seen here over the last 8 years was put in motion by our 72nd and soon to be 74th Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe. And you know, when he's elected governor, he's just going to pick up right where he left off and continue to make sure that every Virginian has an opportunity to succeed. And we know on a federal level, we've already worked for things that are succeeding. We passed the rescue plan earlier this year that put more federal money into K through 12 than in the history of the United States. Already done. We saved 1 million people's pensions they were about to lose without any cuts. And because of the child tax credit, along with the earned income tax credit, the $1,400 checks, and increased SNAP benefits, we believe that we will be able to cut child poverty in half this year. Already done. The biggest drop in child poverty in the history of the United States, on record, 20%, 50% in 1 year because of Democratic leadership. Now, we can't afford to let Glenn Youngkin and Trump Republicans to drag us backwards. Now, they campaign on taking us backwards. Make America great again. Like when? Name the date. How about it? Back to 1963 before the Civil Rights Act passed? 1953 before Brown v. Board of Education? 1853 when there's still slavery going on? When are they talking about? But they're campaigning on taking us backwards. They just won't tell us how far. So the progress we've worked so hard for in Virginia, that's on the ballot this November. Now, we need everyone who hadn't voted already to make a plan to vote today. You can early vote. You can vote on Election Day. Every vote counts, and everybody's been watching the polls. This election is expected to be close. So we need you to turn out to vote. We need you to grab your family and friends and co-workers, make sure everybody votes, because this election is going to be close, and we need to get out and spread the word about this election so that we can make sure that Terry McAuliffe, Hala Yala, Mark Herring, and all the Democrats running for the House of Delegates are elected on November 2nd. We've done it before. We can do it again. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Attorney General, Mark Herring.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is so good to see all of you. We are in the middle of an election that will decide the future of our Commonwealth. And we need to protect the progress we've made and continue the fight for all Virginians and elect Terry McAuliffe this November. With continued Democratic leadership, we'll build a Commonwealth that protects our communities, families, and environment, and a Commonwealth that has your back. With Terry in office, we can work together to lead the nation in things like preventing gun violence, lowering the cost of health care, and holding Big Pharma accountable for prescription drug prices. And as your Attorney General, I will work right alongside Terry, Hala, and our Democratic majorities to lead those fights. Over the last 8 years, I've won a landmark case for marriage equality that's now the law of the land. Blocked Trump's Muslim ban, protected voting rights, and went to the Supreme Court not once, but twice, to successfully defend Obamacare. We've taken on the gun lobby, defended common sense gun safety measures, and I promise you, my priority will always be protecting your rights and keeping you safe. And alongside Terry McAuliffe and Ralph Northam, I have stood as a brick wall against Republican attacks on a woman's reproductive freedom. And I have fought in court to defend a woman's access to comprehensive health care services, including abortion care and birth control. Democrats have a strong record of fighting for, protecting, and lifting up all Virginians, and we're going to keep that fight going. But the Republican ticket is promising that if they're elected, they'll roll back all of the progress that we've made. And, like Donald Trump said, they'll do all the things he wants them to do. Glenn Youngkin has no plan to address gun violence, no plan to lower health care costs. And my Republican opponent in the Attorney General's race, Jason Miyares, is an anti-choice, anti-LGBT, anti-healthcare, NRA-endorsed, Cuccinelli-style conservative whose biggest backer, by far, is a group that helped plan and fund January 6th. He would abuse the office to undermine both our rights and our safety, and we cannot let that happen. So early voting has already started, and it is time to make your voices heard. So let's keep Virginia blue. Let's sweep all 3 statewide offices and build on our Democratic majorities in the House of Delegates. Thank you all so much. I'll see you on the campaign trail.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your next Lieutenant Governor, Hala Ayala.
Hey, Richmond! How y'all doing? Come on, how y'all doing? Are you fired up and ready to go? Come on, Democrats, are you fired up and ready to go? You ready to see Obama? Me too. I have to tell you, I don't think anyone is quite as excited as I am. I'm like a little girl in a candy shop, you know, getting some gummy bears, you know. I'm so excited. But this is truly full circle for me. You know, I've been a waitress. I've worked at a gas station. I've been a telemarketer. I've been a school administrative assistant. But never in a million years did I ever think I would hold or run or be a candidate for statewide office, sharing the stage with a man that first inspired me to get involved with politics. But when I was a wee little girl, I'm just joking. Around 13 years ago in Prince William County, I went to hear then Senator Barack Obama speak. And I heard him say those magic words. And they changed my life. And those words were, yes, we can. Come on, say it with me. Yes, we can. I started knocking doors. I started calling people. I started volunteering so that my son and my daughter could watch me cast my vote for our nation's first black president. Again, I wouldn't be standing here on this stage today if I hadn't heard those words. What were they? Yes, we can. So tonight, Virginia, I have a simple message for you. Virginia, yes, we can. I don't have to tell you. I might be a little spicy about this, but I'm going to be. I don't have to tell you that everything is on the line on November 2nd. The entire nation is looking at Virginia, and we have to tell them and show them where we need to go next. So this November, it is incumbent upon us to lead our country in the direction of progress. We should be celebrating that. Not once, but twice, we have rejected Trump and his anti-science, unhinged, anti-choice rhetoric. I was losing my words there, but you understand. But you know what? Do you know what? It's time for us to do it again. Our Commonwealth has come so far under the Democratic majority. And believe me when I say this, Virginia, we are just getting started. Now, I got a secret to tell you, but it's not a secret. My Trumpian opponent and her running mates want to take Virginia backwards by criminalizing our bodies and our right to choose. They are campaigning. Go ahead and boo. It's okay. I'm going to keep going. They're campaigning to defund public schools and derail public health. Yes, they are. With so much at stake, it's time for us to get off the sidelines. Grab your sneakers, grab your clipboards, grab your cell phones too, and fight for the progresses that we have made. Absolutely. We have come too far, right, Dolores? We have come too far, Delegate McQuinn. We have come too far to let Republicans take us backwards. Now, in order to protect access to the ballot, we have to vote. We must vote. Say it with me. We must vote. To protect an individual's right to choose, we must vote. In order to protect our public schools, we must vote. Virginia, what do we need to do? Okay, let's try that again, Democrats. We must vote. I know you're tired. I know you've been working hard, but I need you here with me in this fight. They say it takes a village, but you are mine. My name is Hala Ayala, and Virginia, I hope to earn your vote and make history as your first ever woman of color lieutenant governor. So are y'all fired up? Yes, are you fired up? Come on, Virginia, are you fired up? Come on. Now let's get to work. Thank you, Virginia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Governor Ralph Northam.
Hello, Virginia Democrats. You all are looking mighty good this afternoon. I just have a couple questions for you all before we get started. Are you ready to elect Terry McAuliffe as the 74th governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia? Are you ready to elect Hala Ayala as your next lieutenant governor? Are you ready to re-elect Mark Herring as your Attorney General? And are you ready to welcome President Barack Obama to VCU and right here to Richmond, Virginia. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know about you, Richmond, but I'm proud to be a Democrat, and when we elect Democrats, good things happen in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And let me talk just briefly about the Republican Party. The party, as I refer them to, as the party of no. The party that likes to promote lies. I don't know if y'all heard this, but they told me that the insurrection on January the 6th was a peaceful rally. If it was so peaceful, why did I have to send 200 state police and the National Guard to bring rest back to our capital? They like to promote anger. They like to promote fear. Let me tell you something. That's not what we as Democrats are about. We have come way too far to go back. Now listen to this. I heard this also. They say that our economy is in the ditch. Really? What ditch are they talking about? You know, Terry McAuliffe and I, back in 2013, we ran on the new Virginia economy. We brought in hundreds of thousands of new jobs to the Commonwealth of Virginia. We have one of the lowest unemployment rates in this country. We raised the minimum wage, and let me remind the Republicans, not once, but twice, Virginia was named the best state in this great country of ours in which to do business. So don't tell me that we're in the ditch. We have made record investments in education. We initiated G3, giving free community college to Virginians. We put record numbers of resources into early childhood education so that 3- and 4-year-olds can have access to the American dream. We have given our teachers a much-needed raise. This Commonwealth, under leadership, under Democratic leadership, has become an inclusive state. It didn't used to be like that. We welcome people. We embrace diversity in Virginia. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, the religion that you practice, the country you come from, or who you choose to love. You are welcome here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We passed the Virginia Values Act, addressing discrimination against the LGBTQ community. It had never been done in the Commonwealth. We, as Democrats, did that. And you know what? We believe in a woman's right to choose. There is no excuse that a group of legislators, most of whom are men, should be telling women what they should and shouldn't be doing with their bodies. We ended that in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I know you all don't have to clap to this one, but I know some of you are happy about this. We legalized the recreational use of marijuana in Virginia. I knew they'd like that one. And you know what? On a more serious note, after 402 years, we ended the death penalty in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We passed common sense gun laws in Virginia. We've made it easier to vote. The Republicans want to make it more difficult to vote. It is voting that is the foundation of our democracy. So thank you, Democrats, for doing that. So as I said earlier, we have come way too far to go back, and there are 10 days left. It's our job, and I'm going to make a big ask of you today. We got to make sure that everybody between now and November the 2nd, especially if they're Democrats, gets out there and votes. We cannot take any chances, and so that is my ask of you today. Call your friends, call your neighbors, your relatives, whoever it is. Make sure that we get this done. So just one last question from me, your 73rd governor of the Commonwealth. Are you ready to elect Terry McAuliffe as the 74th governor? Are you ready to elect Mark Herring as your Attorney General? Come on now. Are you ready to elect Hala Ayala as your Lieutenant Governor? And are you ready to help us keep our majority in the House of Delegates? Let's do everything that we can to keep Virginia blue. Thank you all so much, and may God bless all of you. Go Virginia Democrats!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your United States Senator, Tim Kaine.
Hey, neighbors. Hey, neighbors. So, I ran my first race nearly 28 years ago. 2nd District, Richmond City Council. The heart of the district was this VCU campus. I was like a nobody with my little clipboard. Will you sign my petition, sir, so I can get on the ballot? I don't know. You look like kind of a knucklehead, but okay, I'll sign it. I have so many good memories connected with this place and with so many of you. And this is the second time that I've been on the VCU campus with President Barack Obama. First time was when I was running for governor in 2005. He came right here to this campus and helped me get elected. And for him to be back today, for Terry McAuliffe and Hala Ayala and Mark Herring and our delegates, give it up for President Obama. Can I tell you one President Obama story? So when I was governor, he asked me to be chairman of the Democratic National Committee, like Jamie Harrison, my friend. And I said, for you, I'll do it. For you, I'll do it. And what I did for 2 years was basically go around the country and give speeches about the need to pass the Affordable Care Act. I have never given more speeches on a single topic than I did on the need to pass the Affordable Care Act, so that tens of millions of people, many of whom had never had health insurance in their life, could get health insurance. And tens of millions could be protected if they had pre-existing conditions, and women wouldn't have to pay higher premiums for health insurance than men, and kids could stay on family policies till they're 26 years old. And along the way, as I was giving speeches about this and working with people like Donald McEachin and Bobby Scott in Congress to pass it, the Republicans went into a room and they decided they had to come up with a really bad name to call it. Because if they came up with a really bad name, they could demonize it. And in their marketing genius, they decided, not the Affordable Care Act, we will call it Obamacare. Ooh. Basically, they took two words that they thought were so scary and put them together. They thought Obama was a scary word. And we knew that because the first day he was president, they had a meeting, all the Republicans in Congress, and said, we are going to not lift a finger to help this guy out. We're going to define our success by making sure we sweep him out of office after 4 years. And if we put Obama at the front of this, it'll rev everybody up and scare everybody. That didn't surprise many of us that they didn't like our President Obama, but try as they might to stop him every which way they could, they couldn't, and he was a two-term president and a damn good one with Virginia's help. But here's the worst part of that. They thought care was a bad word. I mean, just think about that. These guys thought, and they still do, they thought and they still do, that care is a bad word. I think care is a good word. How about you? You think care is a good word? I think it's okay to care for your neighbor. I think it's okay to care for your friend. I think it's okay to care for somebody you've never met who's struggling and down and out and can't have health insurance. And so when we act, and because of the legislature, more than 500,000 Virginians have Medicaid under Obamacare who never had health insurance in their life. Democrats care. Democrats care. Obama cares. What's wrong with that? Thank God that Obama cares. Thank God the Democrats care. And this is all on the ballot right now because if Republicans take control, they will try to roll back Medicaid expansion. I'm not just making this up. I was in the Senate at 3 a.m. one morning when the Republicans tried to repeal Obamacare and take health insurance away from 25 million people. We saved it by one vote. So that's my President Obama story. He cares, and he shows us our values. We care. So listen, I want to ask you about voting. Raise your hand if you have already voted. Big round of applause. That's great. Okay, now raise your hand if you still plan to vote. Wait a minute. That's more than 100% of you. I like the way you guys think about this. That's great. I want to talk to you about voting before I say a word about Terry, because I had an experience that I never would have imagined, and I never will forget, and God willing will never be repeated. I was in the Capitol of the United States on January 6th when people attacked us, and we had to barricade first in the Senate chambers, and then for hours and hours and hours in a Senate committee room at the peak of COVID, just jammed together 100 senators and 80 staffers while people attacked the Capitol. What were they up to? You hear Governor Northam talked about this. Some of them are saying, oh, it was like a peaceful protest or a not so peaceful protest or a riot. No, none of those things explain what was going on. It was an attack. And it was an attack on a particular day, at a particular time, for a particular purpose. It was an attack to stop the certification of the votes of 80 million people who wanted Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to be the president and vice president of the United States. It was a violent attack to disenfranchise 80 million people. Folks, they didn't want your votes to count. They wanted to erase them. They wanted to undo them. That's what it was about. And some of those people were wearing Camp Auschwitz t-shirts and brandishing Confederate flags, and they were picking up flagpoles and fence posts and battling down hardworking police officers. That's what they were doing. They wanted to erase your vote. And now in legislature after legislature in Republican states around this country, people are repeating the same big lie. They may not be wearing Camp Auschwitz t-shirts. A lot of times they're wearing suits and ties, but they're repeating the same big lie about voter integrity or voter fraud that Glenn Youngkin is repeating, and trying and succeeding in rolling back people's rights to vote. How about this? $1,000 punishment and up to a year in jail if you hand someone a bottle of water who is waiting in a long line on election day. They don't want you to vote. They don't want you to vote. They want to cancel your vote if you vote. They're going to narrow down the election as much as they can. This election is about so many things, but the most important thing it's about is, can we have a small d democracy, and can everyday people participate? That is what's at stake, and that's why I'm so glad to be here for this ticket. Now, Terry McAuliffe. Terry McAuliffe is a great friend. This one thing, only this one thing would tell you what you need to know about Terry, and it's connected to what I just said about voting. Virginia was one of the few states, just two in the country, that cruelly, in the Constitution, prohibited anybody ever charged and convicted with a felony from ever voting again. Made a mistake when you were young, turn your life around, paying taxes, working at the PTA, doing things in the, on the church board, volunteering, raising a family, but because I did something when I was wrong, I can never participate and vote. Virginia was one of two states that did that. When Terry McAuliffe was governor, he took out his pen, and working with our mayor, LeVar Stoney, they restored voting rights for more than 200,000 people. 200,000 people. There's a difference between the guys that want you not to vote and want to take away your vote when you vote, and the team that wants everyone to participate. And that's why I asked at the start who has voted and who still plans to vote. I'm for Terry for one other reason, and then I'm going to sit down. I'm for Terry because he's a great education governor. So raise your hand if you're an educator. I bet we have some educators here, right? Give them a big round. Terry McAuliffe is a great education governor, just like Ralph Northam has been a tremendous education governor. The first thing Terry did was really smart. He hired my wife to be his Secretary of Education. I mean, I gotta say, that was great. But what Terry did as governor was this. At a tough time when the economy was having some challenges, $1 billion of new investments in public schools, expanded early childhood education by tens of thousands of young kids in pre-K classrooms. Terry and his wife Dorothy, who you'll see in a minute, they made childhood nutrition a huge thing so that our kids could go to school and they wouldn't be hungry. They'd have food at lunch and breakfast and over the weekends. And Terry made huge investments in colleges, especially in the community colleges that educate 2/3 of Virginia college kids. He's an education champion. He's an education champion. The other side is trying to create a lot of myths and weird things about schools and then gin up a lot of people being angry. But thank God we've had governors like Terry McAuliffe and Ralph Northam and others who have pushed and expanded educational opportunities. Thank God we've got an attorney general like Mark Herring who has taken that job and kind of redefined it. After 20 years of only Republican attorney generals, Mark Herring has turned it into a justice job. It's always been a law enforcement job, and that's important too. But what about consumer rights? What about voting rights? What about women's rights? What about workers' rights? Mark Herring has turned it into a justice job, and that's why we need to return him. And then Hala Ayala, I was lieutenant governor. I know what the job entails. Get this, Justin Fairfax, the current lieutenant governor, has had to break 52 tie votes in the Virginia Senate in just 4 years. And when there's a tie vote, it's never on something minor. When there's a tie vote in a narrowly divided Senate, it's always, always, always on something big and important. And to have Hala break a glass ceiling, show people who the Virginia of 2021 is, and be there as a backstop for Terry McAuliffe is critically important. So I'm going to conclude now because you've got the main event coming up. You've got our governor-to-be and his wife, and you've got a wonderful, wonderful man and a personal friend, President Obama. President Obama's mom and dad were from the same tiny farm town in Kansas as my mother. We've known each other a long time. We've known each other a long time. He cares a lot about Virginia. Democratic presidential candidates didn't come to Virginia because when he was running in 2008, we hadn't won electoral vote since 1964. I was governor and I told him, look, if you invest in Virginia, Virginia will invest in you. If you believe in Virginia, Virginia will believe in you. And twice, Virginia said, Barack Obama, we know you care, and that's fine with us. So we're all lucky to be here at this moment in time, but take the energy of today as your energy for the next 10 days and do everything you can to return a great governor, Terry McAuliffe, to the governor's office, to keep a justice advocate, Mark Herring, as attorney general, to put a great new leader on the scene statewide in Hala Ayala, to keep our House of Delegates. Everybody go out there. We got to win. The nation is watching Virginia. Thank you.
Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Stylin', wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band about that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop skipping. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Bitch, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bought that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch.
please welcome the former and future First Lady of Virginia, Dorothy McAuliffe.
Hello, Richmond! It's really a beautiful day to be here with so many friends and supporters. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here and waiting for us. I could not be more excited to share this afternoon with you, with my husband, Virginia's once and future governor of the Commonwealth, and our very special guest, President Barack Obama. Mr. President, your time in office is defined by a remarkable legacy. You led this country out of the worst financial crisis of a generation, were a true champion for working families, and made the world a better place. And, most important, your incredible wife, Michelle, made a huge difference for our children and our young people, and is an inspiration to all women around the world. There is so much at stake in this election, and Virginians have a very clear choice in front of us. Are we going to vote for Terry and move Virginia forward, or let his opponent take us back? Just as he did when he was governor, Terry wakes up every single day, well, on the nights he actually goes to sleep, thinking about how he can make life better for Virginians. And make no mistake, as your 72nd governor, Terry made so much progress for Virginia. He made a record $1 billion investment in education. We serve 13 million more meals to school children in need. And he expanded voting rights to more people than any governor in United States history. And he was a brick wall and fought to keep all Virginia women's health care centers open, and he succeeded. Now, Terry is running to build on that progress, help us recover from COVID-19. We need his leadership and his experience now more than ever to finally defeat COVID. But he can't do any of it without your help over these next 10 days. Friends, we know it. This race is tight, and it's going to come down to one thing: who turns out to vote. And we need to get everyone out. It's on us to pull our friends, our family, our gas station attendants, our folks in the line at the grocery store with us. Everyone needs to vote. Remind everyone how easy it is to vote, and that they will need to vote by October 30th. IWillVote.com is the easiest way to help folks find out how they can vote early. Virginians have a record 600,000 Virginians have already voted in this election. Let's make everybody be a part of this. They have already made their voices heard for good paying jobs, for our kids to get a great education, for Virginia's future. There is no excuse not to vote early for Terry and our incredible Democratic ticket. We can move Virginia forward, we can protect the progress we've made, but we can only do it together. And we need you to get out and vote and make your voices heard. And with that, I am so proud to introduce my best friend, the world's greatest dad, my husband of 33 years, and Virginia's next governor, Terry McAuliffe.
We love Richmond, Virginia, and we love VCU, and I love you. Thank you for coming out today. I want to thank my wife, Dorothy. I want to thank her for being such a great First Lady for the Commonwealth of Virginia, great partner, as you know, under her efforts 13 million more meals served to needy children here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And Dorothy, thank you for that great work. To our great mayor, Mayor Stoney, to our speaker, Eileen Fillercorn, to Congressman Keachin, Congressman Scott, I want to thank our great Senator Tim Kaine, our great Governor Ralph Northam, and I do want to thank the Democratic National Committee for breaking the record. I had the record of giving the biggest check ever in the history of the party when I was chairman to Tim Kaine running for governor. Give Jamie a great round of applause for breaking my record. I thank him for that. And folks, a big shout out and a big thank you to our next Lieutenant Governor, Hala Ayala. And our next Attorney General, Mark Herring. So I can promise you this, folks, with that ticket we have running here in Virginia and control of the Democratic House of Delegates, let me promise each one of you, this state is going to take off like a booster rocket. You have my word on that, folks. I got more energy for this job than the day I was born. I am ready to go. I'm ready to lean in for you every single day for you. What a great day here in Richmond, perfect weather, and what a great day to welcome the 44th President of the United States of America, Barack Obama. So you've heard it over and over. We have 10 days left in this campaign, and I can tell you this, there is nothing more at stake. We have made tremendous progress over the course of the last 8 years. You've heard it over and over again. But COVID has given all of us real challenges, and we have a lot to overcome. But let me be clear, our first step in overcoming COVID is we need to lean in, we need to defeat. I want Virginia to be the first state in the United States of America that calls an end to the COVID pandemic. We can do that together. And once we get that done, our agenda is clear. We've got to create good-paying jobs, make health care more affordable, invest in education, and I promise you, as I did before, I will keep Virginia open and welcoming to everyone, no matter whom you love, the color of your skin, or who you pray to. I have 20 very exciting, comprehensive plans on my website, 166 pages. I tell you, folks, exactly how I'm going to do this. Let me tell you this, as I did before, we are going to create great jobs all over this great Commonwealth. And I promise you this, we will raise the minimum wage to $15 by January of 2024. I promise every Virginian we will make child care affordable for every parent out there in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And here's a big one. I promise you we will finally pass paid sick leave and family medical leave here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I'm going to fight the high costs of prescription drug prices. I promise all of you will lower premiums. I will make sure that we make health care affordable for all, and I want to be the first state in America that every single one of their citizens gets access to quality, affordable health care. And as I said on day one of my campaign, I am going to make sure that every single Virginian receives a world-class education. I promise you that. And folks, I know we can do it because I did it before. If you remember in 2013 when I took office, our economy was in crisis, chaos. I rolled up my sleeves. We got to work making life better for all Virginians. By working in a bipartisan way, guess what? You've heard it. We created 200,000 new good-paying jobs. Personal income went up 14%. Unemployment went down in every city and county in the Commonwealth of Virginia. When you get Democrats running governor, you get great things happening here in this great Commonwealth. I leaned in on clean energy to tackle climate change. We created good-paying jobs. We invested in education, infrastructure, transportation. And I did it, folks, by finding common ground. I'll work with anybody. It doesn't matter to me what your party persuasion is. If you're a reasonable Republican, you'll work on me on all these things, I'll work with you. But let me make one thing perfectly clear today. Glenn Youngkin is not a reasonable Republican. I call him Donald Trump in khakis. Do we want a lapdog to Donald Trump to be our governor here in the Commonwealth? No, we don't. And we have seen what could happen. Just last week at a rally hosted by Donald Trump, my opponent's supporters actually pledged allegiance to a flag that was used at the deadly January 6th insurrection at our nation's capital. The flag, the symbol of democracy, was actually used at that capital to try and destroy our democracy. And what did Glenn Youngkin say about it? He thanked his supporters for hosting it. Folks, this is a pattern with Glenn. He has spent this entire campaign promoting Donald Trump's crazy conspiracy theories about the 2020 election. He has said that election integrity, quote, is the single most important issue facing Virginia. Really? Not jobs, not the economy, not defeating COVID, but a Donald Trump conspiracy theory. Folks, let me clear this up for Glenn Youngkin and everybody else. Let me make this easy. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won the 2020 election here. But we know why he has to suck up to Donald Trump all the time. He has said, quote, Donald Trump represents so much of why I'm running. He actually said that. Folks, I'm running for you. I ain't running for Donald Trump. Let me be clear. But we know why he says it. Because Glenn Youngkin and Donald Trump share a dangerous, divisive agenda that would take our Commonwealth backwards. On education, let me be clear. Glenn Youngkin wants to follow Donald Trump and Betsy DeVos's plan and take money from private schools and send them to public schools. Independent reports have come out that under Glenn Youngkin's plan, 3 reports just came out, 43,000 teachers would be cut here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Let me be clear, I will always stand up for our public schools, our students, and our education, and never will I take a dime out of public schools and give them to private schools. You have my word on that. And here's another promise I'm going to do for you. We are going to raise teacher pay above the national average for the first time in Virginia history. I promise you I will get every student online within 2 years. And I will expand pre-K to tens of thousands of our children who are desperately in need of it. That's what I'm going to do on education. And on COVID, Glenn Youngkin has already brought Donald Trump's anti-science agenda, and he's not even elected. As you know, Glenn Youngkin has said, day one, all masks come off and no vaccine requirements for teachers. How dangerous is that? You're a parent with a 5-, 6-year-old first grader. Are you going to send your child to a school where the teacher's not vaccinated and they're not wearing a mask? It's deadly for our children. Here in Virginia, you should understand 1,142 of our children have been in hospitals because they got COVID. Last week, 2 11-year-olds died because of COVID here. We will not let Glenn Youngkin put our children at risk here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Could you imagine what he would do as governor? As your governor, I will always follow the science. We will defeat COVID with vaccines to save lives. We will keep our schools open, and I promise you we'll build a robust economy. And then let's take a look at abortion. Donald Trump's proudest legacy is that he now controls the United States Supreme Court. And the Trump Supreme Court is allowing states like Texas now to make abortion illegal. And Glenn Youngkin, he has promised his top supporters, quote, I will go on the offense to ban abortion and defund Planned Parenthood. Those are his words. Folks, as you all know, for 50 years in this great country, we knew that the Supreme Court would never allow people like Glenn Youngkin to outlaw abortion. They were always a backstop. But now with the 6-3 Donald Trump Supreme Court, that's all changed. And Glenn Youngkin has promised he will bring those Texas laws here to Virginia. Women and doctors will face jail time. Women will die from unsafe, illegal abortions. So let me be clear again, as I did before as your governor, I will always be a brick wall to protect women's rights. I will never allow politicians like Donald Trump and Glenn Youngkin ever to make abortion illegal here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I believe that women should make their own decisions about their own reproductive rights. I will always make sure that Virginia is open and welcoming to all. And just yesterday, Glenn Youngkin reaffirmed his opposition to gay marriage. Really? In 2021? Really? Well, let me tell you something, folks. You have got a great company here called CoStar. 1,000 employees. I was the governor when we bid on that. We lost the bid. They outbid us in North Carolina 3-1. But I read that North Carolina passed an HB2 anti-gay bill, so I called the CEO up. I flew up to meet him at his headquarters and said, I'm the governor of Virginia. You cannot go to a state that discriminates. And by the end of the dinner I had with him, guess what? I walked out with the contract to move CoStar here to Richmond, Virginia. So not only will Glenn Youngkin put women's lives in danger, put doctors in jail, and go after Uber drivers, he will destroy our economy. Let me tell you, employees want their state to be open and welcoming, and that's what I'll do as your governor. So this election is about the next chapter of Virginia and our country. And what's it going to look like? That's what this is about. It's about leading us out of this pandemic, keeping our economy strong, protecting voter rights, protecting abortion rights, and so much more. We cannot afford to return to the division, the culture wars, and the conspiracy theories. We've come too far to go back. So, with just a week to go, a little bit over a week, we got an election here in the Commonwealth. I need your help. Our campaign has knocked on over 1 million doors so far in this campaign. It's exciting. We did 102,000 just last weekend. I need you knocking doors. We're talking to Virginians in every single corner of the Commonwealth about what's at stake. We've just had over 600,000 people have already early voted here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We are on track to have the largest turnout in a non-presidential year in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia because you all know what's at stake. I need your help. So as we come into the end, now everybody get your cell phones out. I want to see those cell phones. I know you got them. I want you to text Terry to 50550. You need to join this campaign. I need to help you get this vote out. It is so important. I got to have Hala. I got to have Mark Herring. I got to have an attorney general. When I restored more felon rights than any governor in American history, the Republicans sued me for contempt of court. Thank God I had an attorney general who had my back and kept me out of jail. So, folks, join the hundreds of thousands of Virginians who've already cast their vote. I'm begging you, this is the future of our Commonwealth. Together, we will keep Virginia blue, and we will move this great Commonwealth forward. I am so excited. But I am really excited now to have a special guest who's come back to campaign again for us here in Virginia. My good friend, President Obama, he campaigned for me back in 2013, and he's now back again. And think about the 8 great years we had when he was President of the United States of America. When he took office, he didn't waste any time getting to work to fix all the tough problems this country was facing. He walked in office, just like I did, facing huge deficits and an economy in chaos. He got to work, and under President Obama, 11 million new jobs were created in this great country. Barack Obama saved the auto industry. He showed leadership all across this country. And let me be clear, there is the issue of health care. He made addressing America's broken health care system his top priority. The president knew it wouldn't be easy, but that's why he ran for office, to lean in and solve the tough problems. He ran and took challenges on head-on. And it was such a privilege to work with him and fight with him when I was governor, and working tirelessly to expand Medicaid. He has now provided to so many millions of Americans. And on behalf of the 550,000 Virginia residents today who have health care because of the Affordable Care Act, Mr. President, thank you for the work that you have done. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the 44th President of the United States of America, Barack Obama.
Richmond. It is good to be back in Virginia. Although I have to say that, unlike some other states, I'm in Virginia all the time because it's pretty close by to where I live. It is good to see you on this beautiful day. I am so grateful to the young Democrats at VCU for hosting us today. It's good to see some young idealism at work, young activists getting out and doing the work. I could not be prouder of you. It's thanks to extraordinary young people like you that I was able to get elected to the U.S. Senate. You helped deliver Virginia twice for me. I'll always love you for it. You delivered for Terry McAuliffe. And now I'm asking you to do it one more time by electing Terry, the next governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. In fact, I love you too. I do. Over the years, actually, you guys have come through for a lot of great leaders, many of whom are here today. Your outstanding governor, Ralph Northam. Your next lieutenant governor, Hala Ayala. Your current and future Attorney General, Mark Herring. My dear friend, first person outside Illinois to endorse me for President of the United States, your great Senator Tim Kaine. Congressman Donald McEachin is here. Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates, Eileen Filler-Corn. The great mayor of Richmond, LeVar Stoney. These are leaders that you've come through for multiple times. And in 10 days, you've got a chance to do it again. You've got a chance to elect Terry and Hala and Mark and to keep Virginia moving forward. And before we start anything else, I want to remind you and everybody who's watching, you don't have to wait until November 2nd to cast your ballot. You can vote early right now, either by mail or in person. If you don't be lollygagging. Don't be sitting on the couch saying, I'll get to it later. You can vote early right now. If you've got a ballot at home, you can return it by mail, or you can hand it in at your local registrar's office, or you can take it to a drop-off location today. Don't leave it on your desk. If you're like me, your desk is cluttered. You end up spilling stuff. You're like, oh man, I got to start all over again, get another ballot. Do it now. You'll feel good. You'll feel good about exercising the franchise. Or you can vote early in person today. Just go to iwillvote.com/VA to make your plans. Millions of Virginians voted early last year. Let's do it again this year. Don't wait. You agree, don't you? Yes, you do. All right. Now that we've got that very important piece of business out of the way, let me tell you a little bit about Terry and why I know he will be a fantastic governor again. First thing to know about Terry is, as you just witnessed, he's very persuasive. Let me tell you, if I told Michelle I wanted to run for the same office after a few years away, she would have said something I cannot repeat. The rough translation would have been no. Now, I don't know the conversation that Terry had with Dorothy. But Dorothy, thank you, because I could not be happier that Terry's back on the ticket. He's persuasive. And the reason I couldn't be happier is because I know he will make you proud as governor because he's already done it. He did it the last time. You know, there are times where you don't know. Let's face it, when you elected Barack Obama, you're like, I don't know. I mean, the kid, you know, maybe you knew, but I have to say, I look at some of that old footage, I'm like, man, he looks really young. I can't believe they trusted him to do all that stuff. He looks like he's 25 years old. That was before the gray hair. Some of you who are very young don't remember, but I used to have black hair. But with Terry, you know, he's done it. And you know this about Terry, he knows how to work hard. This guy is the Energizer Bunny. He does not sleep. He does not stop. He started his own business at the age of 14, paving driveways to help pay for college. Now, I don't remember exactly what I was doing at 14, but I will tell you I was not starting my own business. And ever since, Terry has brought the same grit and determination to everything he's done, from public service to business to being a husband to being a father of 5 amazing children. So the guy knows how to work hard, and he's persuasive. And Terry knows what it means to lead. You know, a lot of times you see candidates say one thing to one group of people, and then they act a little bit different with another group of people. They don't seem sincere. They don't want you to know what they're really all about. But with Terry, you don't have to wonder what he's going to be like as governor, because you've seen it. He walked the walk, didn't just talk the talk. As your governor, Terry kept Virginia on the right track after the Great Recession. He helped create 200,000 jobs, drove unemployment down in every city and county in Virginia, not just in the sections of Northern Virginia that were getting tech jobs, etc. Every county, every city in Virginia, he was working to make sure the people got opportunity. Every single one. So when Terry tells you he's going to help Virginia rebuild a stronger economy that creates good jobs, when he says that he's going to invest in education and workers, when he says he's going to help families from everywhere get ahead, South and North, you can believe it because he's done it before. And that kind of experience matters because the work we need to do is too important to just lead to chance. This pandemic has made the last couple of years incredibly hard for a lot of Virginians. But thanks to leaders like Governor Northam and President Biden, we've been making progress. The national unemployment rate is the lowest it's been since the pandemic started. In Virginia, it's even lower. Schools have reopened. Jobs are coming back. Businesses are starting to recover. We're moving forward. Now we've got a choice. We can go backwards. We can plunge right back into the misguided policies and the divisiveness and the negligence that made this pandemic so much worse than it ever had to be. Or we can build an economy that works for everybody, not just the few, where kids have a shot at a great education and workers can get the skills they need for good new jobs, where we follow the science when it comes to the pandemic, where we work together and we listen to each other and we move this country forward. That's what Terry's running on. That's why he wants to be your governor. That's why you've got to get out there and vote. To make Virginia a magnet for good jobs. To make sure our kids can go to school safely. Terry talked about it. He's got a plan to boost the minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2024. Help give young people like the ones in this audience the education they deserve. Make health care more affordable for everybody. We've got 500,000 Virginians getting help on the Affordable Care Act. We could be doing more, and Terry's going to do it. He talked about protecting a woman's right to make her own health care decisions, to keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people. And Terry talked about wanting to work in a bipartisan way with reasonable Republicans. You don't have to, he's not just saying that for the campaign. He did it when he was governor. He's walked the walk. And by the way, Terry's not alone. All across the country, Democrats are working to make sure that the wealthiest Americans and largest corporations pay their fair share in taxes, so we can do things like make child care more affordable, so we can make real progress in the fight against climate change. All across the country, Democrats are trying to make it easier to vote, not make it harder to vote, and push back on Republicans who are trying to systematically prevent ordinary citizens from making their voices heard. Just this past week, some of you probably saw, every Democrat in the Senate supported a bill that would protect the right to vote and ban partisan gerrymandering and reduce the influence of dark money in our politics. Every Democrat voted for it. Every Republican voted against it. Which, by the way, there's a little bit of an aside, but you have to ask yourself, why is it Republicans don't want you to vote? What is it that they're so afraid of? You know, I would assume, Terry, if they think they've got better ideas, why don't they just go make the case? Tell us your ideas. Tell us why you think they're going to be better. Tell us how it's going to help that man get a job, or help that young person go to college, or help that person get a trade. Hey, just explain it. And if you've got good ideas, people will flock to your ideas, but that's not what they try to do. Instead, you're trying to rig elections. Because the truth is, people disagree with your ideas. And when that doesn't work, you start fabricating lies and conspiracy theories about the last election, the one you didn't win. That's not how democracy is supposed to work. Our democracy is what makes America great. It's what makes us the shining city on the hill. This extraordinary experiment in self-government and protecting that and preserving that, that shouldn't be a partisan issue. It didn't used to be. So that's what Terry and Democrats everywhere are focused on. So let's shift for a moment to what Terry's opponent is running on. Don't boo. Vote. Booing doesn't do nothing. Booing might make you feel better, but it's not going to get Terry elected. Vote. Now, so don't boo. I want you to get fired up inside and then go vote. Terry's opponent, he's thinking Virginians either aren't paying attention or he thinks that they're gullible. Now, this is someone who has been very successful, made hundreds of millions of dollars. And you know what? That's great. We don't begrudge success. We want everyone in America to have a chance to pursue their dreams. That's what Terry did as a successful business person himself. But you notice that having achieved success, Terry then decided, I need to give back. I need to lift people up. I need to create more ladders of opportunity for everybody else. Because somebody did that for me, I'm going to do it for the next group of people coming along. That's why he got into public service. His opponent? Not so much. His opponent doesn't want people like him to pay a dime more in taxes to support education or job training or child care or all the other things that might help the next generation get ahead. Although now suddenly he wants you to believe that he's discovered the middle class. Terry's opponent he supported a policy that would cut education and public safety and put more than 40,000 teaching jobs at risk right here in Virginia. And now he's telling you he's very concerned about our kids and our streets. He told some voters in private that he can't talk about a woman's right to choose while he's running, but he said that if he wins, he'll restrict the right across Virginia. So don't boo. So how can he claim to be the candidate for women? I don't either. As far as I can tell, the big message of Terry's opponent is that he's a regular guy because he wears fleece. And he's accusing schools of brainwashing our kids. He's also said he wanted to audit the voting machines used in the last presidential election again. Really? Encouraging the lies and conspiracy theories that we've had to live through all this time? And yet we're supposed to believe he's going to stand up for our democracy? Listen, I want to emphasize this. I'm glad that the guy can play basketball. You know, many of you know, I'm a big hooper. So that's a good thing. You know, the guy can hoop. That's great. I'm less convinced that the co-CEO of one of the largest private equity firms in the world spends his time washing dishes and going grocery shopping. But who knows? Maybe. But, I mean, you do notice that, like, whenever a wealthy person runs for office, they always want to show you what a regular guy they are. But that's okay. But when your supporters hold a rally where they pledge allegiance to a flag that was flown at the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th, the biggest threat to our democracy in my lifetime, when you don't separate yourselves from them, when you don't think that's a problem, well, you know what? That's a problem. You can't run ads telling me you're a regular old hoops-playing, dish-washing, fleece-wearing guy, but quietly cultivate support from those who seek to tear down our democracy. Either he actually believes in the same conspiracy theories that resulted in a mob, or he doesn't believe it, but he's willing to go along with it, to say or do anything to get elected. And maybe that's worse. Because that says something about character. And character will end up showing when you actually are in office. What are you willing to stand up for? When are you willing to say no to your own supporters? When are you willing to say there's some things that are more important than getting elected, and maybe American democracy is one of those things? Virginia, we've got too much to get done to be dealing with the okey doke. Here we are trying to recover from a global pandemic that has killed more than 700,000 Americans, that shut down thousands of small businesses and put millions out of work. We don't have time to be wasting on these phony, trumped-up culture wars, this fake outrage that right-wing media peddles to juice their ratings, and the fact that he's willing to go along with it instead of talking about serious problems that actually affect serious people, that's a shame. That's not what this election's about. That's not what you need, Virginia. Instead of forcing our communities to cut back at a time when we're just starting to recover. We should be doing more to support people who are educating our kids and keeping our neighborhoods safe. Instead of spreading misinformation and disinformation about the last election, we should be trying to strengthen our democracy and make it easier for more people to vote in future elections. Instead of stoking anger aimed at school boards and administrators who are just trying to keep our kids safe, who are just doing their jobs, stoking anger to the point where some of them are actually getting death threats, we should be making it easier for teachers and schools to give our kids the world-class education they deserve and to do so safely while they're in the classroom. So we're at a turning point right now, both here in America and around the world. Because there's a mood out there, we see it, right? There's a politics of meanness and division and conflict, of tribalism and cynicism. And that's one path. But the good news is there's another path where we pull together and we solve big problems and we rebuild our society in a way that gives more and more people a better life. And that's the choice we face. It's a choice I believe will define not just the next few years, but the next few decades of human history, maybe longer than that. You know, I look out at some of these young people who were 2 when I was elected. Not born yet. You were born. I thank you. I'm glad you were at least born. He was only a few months old, but he was born. But I look at them because I see in these young people, I see my own daughters, right? And I think about the world we're given to them, the thing about being a parent is that you hear it's a cliche and then it happens. And 2 of those cliches are true. One cliche is that, boy, they grow up fast. But the other cliche is you will do anything to make sure their lives are better. You will sacrifice anything for them. And so right now, we're helping to determine what kind of democracy are they going to inherit? What kind of planet they're going to inherit? What kind of economy we're going to inherit? What are we leaving for them? And it's our choice. And I'm here today because I believe Virginia will make the right choice. I believe America ultimately will make the right choice. I believe you right here in Virginia are going to show the rest of the country and the world that we're not going to indulge in our worst instincts. We're not going to go back to the chaos that did so much damage. We're going to move forward with people like Terry leading the way. But here's the thing. In order for that to happen, we need your help. We need you to vote. Look, I know a lot of people are tired of politics right now. Listen, I'll make a confession. I never watch political shows. Michelle and I, when we're at home, I'm reading, she's watching HGTV, maybe the Food Channel. So I understand why people might be tired of politics and the arguments and the tweets and the back and the forth. And some of you are just plain tired because this has been hard. I understand why people are frustrated. You know, we thought that the pandemic was just about done, and then suddenly the Delta comes up and it kind of throws us for a loop. And people are just tired. They feel cooped up. They're not sure what's safe. All this arguments going on TV all the time. Folks wearing masks. I believe that wearing masks is the right thing to do for people that we care about. We do it for people who are vulnerable, not just for ourselves. But let's face it. I mean, I think it's important to acknowledge. You know, sometimes I lose my mask. I'm like, oh man, where is it? You know, I mean, I understand why people just feel kind of like, oh, when's this going to end? And sometimes politics in Washington feels that way, right? It's like, oh, are we still arguing about gay marriage? Really? I thought that ship had sailed. So I thought that was pretty clearly the right thing to do. I thought we got Republicans across the country who said, yeah, that, of course, and that, we're going to reopen that can of what? So I understand why sometimes folks get tired. But here's the thing. We can't afford to be tired because of these young people right here and the young people that are coming. And it's hard. Now, Terry doesn't claim that by being governor suddenly every problem is going to be solved. I didn't solve every problem when I was president. I mean, the fact is that it's hard to undo the legacy of discrimination that goes back centuries. It's hard to deal with special interests who want to keep the status quo when you're trying to make the economy more fair and more just. It's hard in a big country like this where people disagree a lot to get everybody moving in the same direction. But here's the thing, we can make it better. When you got the right person in the job, we might not get every single person to get a job, but more people will get jobs. We may not get every child the best education in the world, but we can get a lot more kids a better education. I didn't get everybody health care in America, but we got a whole lot more people health care in America. It makes a difference when we decide to make things better. And when you've got somebody in your corner who has shown that they will work for you, who has a track record of accomplishment, then you've got to go out there and work for them, not because everything's suddenly going to be perfect, but because it's going to be better. When you got somebody like Terry who's responsible and serious, he's worth fighting for. So you got to go out there and show the cynics that you're willing to knock on doors for Terry, to make the calls for Terry, to tell your friends and neighbors what's at stake. We ain't got time to be tired. We don't have time to be tired. What is required is sustained effort. You know, I was thinking about, because I haven't campaigned for a while, I went back to my first campaign. And I remember in my first presidential election, I spoke in Grant Park about a woman, 106 years old, who had voted for me, African American, Miss Cooper. 106. And I tried to imagine everything that she had gone through in her life. Right? Born in the shadow of slavery, deep in the midst of Jim Crow. A time where women, when she was born, didn't have the right to vote, much less black folks. And yet, she described how the minute she had a chance to vote, it never missed. including up to the time where the first African-American nominee of a major party had the chance to become president of the United States. She had witnessed all that. And I thought, now if she's not tired, I can't be tired. If John Lewis wasn't tired, we can't be tired. If the folks who had to fight for union rights across the country weren't tired, we sure can't be tired. If the suffragists weren't tired, we can't be tired. So go out there and fight and work, because you're going to decide this election and the direction of Virginia and the direction of this country for generations to come. Don't sit this one out, and make sure you vote for Democrats up and down the ballot, including for state legislature, where a lot of important work actually gets done. I used to be a state legislator. Don't forget them, because there's what's going to help Terry be able to deliver for you. And if you do these things, if you're not tired, if you work, if you vote up and down the ballot, if you get your friends and neighbors and your cousins to vote, if you do all that, we will elect Terry McAuliffe. We will elect Hala Alaya. We will elect Mark Herring. We'll build on our majorities in the state legislature. We'll keep Virginia on the path to a better future. I have faith in you. Have faith in yourselves. Get out there. Get to work. Yes, we can. God bless you, Virginia. May God bless the university. God bless the United States of America. Thank you, everybody.
From the driveway of my house to your apartment where I am waiting now. Come on, don't think night's young. Let's go. NYC, Portland, Austin, Anaheim. Maybe not Anaheim. Keep an open mind. I'm just saying, baby, let's go. I don't care. Anywhere. Just wanna come back with a memory. Growing up doesn't mean getting older. I don't care.